Alright, how we doing? This is my first video of 2024. This is my own personal journal. This is the road to $1 million. It was going to be $1,000 to $1 million in 1 year, but that's not realistic. So we're going from 1,000 to 10,000, and then next year 10,000 to 100,000. Then it's all the way to Rich City. Though realistically, it'll probably be more like 1,000 to 200. So join me on my journey as we achieve tremendous losses. And if I'm being honest, I'm also depositing $50 a week. So $2,500 a year. $2,500 of that 10,000 is going to be from my own bank account. Whatever, if I can still get those kind of gains, heading straight to the top. I traded November and December, and I meant to take the last 2 weeks of December off for relaxation, but instead I ended up with 3 weeks worth of COVID, which I still haven't gotten over. Alright, start things off. First off, what is my trading strategy? It is, and pay close attention, it's, fuck you. Fuck you. I've been working on it for years. I'm not about to just hand it out to you, some fucking freeloader on YouTube. You can have it when you pry it from my cold dead hand. And even then, you wouldn't understand what you were looking at because you don't know how I use each indicator. So good luck. Though that does make making YouTube videos difficult, since all I can really show is MACD, RSI, volume, some other random shit. This thing here is just a dynamic Fibonacci, so it goes along as it moves. You don't have to keep drawing it all the time. I basically just use it as like a version of a Bollinger Band. See, let me know when it's contracting and expanding. But if you were to say, oh, where's a good spot? Nowhere is a good spot. I'm always on top of things when it comes to, all right, so like right here, you draw here to here in real life, bazinga, but it's already drawn in. This line is the bottom of the green, top of the gray, bottom. This is your middle golden zone. This is your probably not going to work, you shouldn't look at it zone. And it just kind of moves, but whatever. I'm purely technical. I only look at fundamentals enough to make sure I'm not about to be sideswiped by an earnings report or the CEO of the company I'm about to invest in coming out on Twitter saying that Hitler was his hero, something like that. Just enough to make sure that the fundamentals trump technicals when it comes to major reports like that. God, I'm gonna have a heart attack. This is a high-tech software. Basically, I've got 3 main setups. One is the massive trend where it's just barely a pullback and then it continues. I hate that one because it doesn't move like this. It moves like this and then this. It's like you have to stay in it for a really long time. My favorite one is just the regular pullback to the mid Fibonacci area, and then that. I like it because it moves a lot more. The only problem is a lot of times this can easily, you buy here and then it becomes this, and it's like, well, shit. And the third one is every once in a while you'll see the straight up ranging, and it's pretty easy to jump in on either side of those. Those are the 3 ones you'll always see. And I trade using what I call true highs and true lows. What is on my monitor? Based loosely on Elliott waves. Whether you see them or not, there's always the true highs and the true lows. And what I mean, if I can kind of draw it, be all kinds of movement, like regular charts. But there's always going to be that true low area and the true highs, true lows, true highs, and it just moves between it like that. And occasionally on the strong trends, you'll have shit like this, and it looks like a true high failed, but these are they're hard to identify, but what's really happening is you're hitting your high, and then you're actually hitting your low, and then it's carrying on. So it's like that, but it's hard to identify. way back when the market was doing its non-stop climb and everyone was like, it's gotta pull back at some point. There was this area here where everyone's like, all right, here comes the bearish movement. We're ready. And somewhere around here, I realized that all of my indicators, like, I guess I could use these, but they start to squeeze back together and go the other way. And you're like, oh, that was the low. This is the true low. Like, we're all waiting for this. That was the high. That was the low. And then it's about to go up here. And as soon as I realized that, I got out all of my bear positions into bull positions. So this helps because I'm usually never scared when stuff, it'll do whatever. It'll start doing its contraction, its choppy shit. And then that'll be the confirmation. So I buy here. And 50% of the time, it reverts back down somewhere around here. Most people might panic or move their stop loss or all this other shit. As long as I know that this is the true low, it's basically never going to go there. Like, it rarely ever just confirmation straight dive. It'll retrace about halfway and then do this. Sometimes I'll even be so confident that I'll add more positions here, but I try not to do that shit. I mean, you don't need more than the RSI and the MACD anyway. It's not about when people are too fucking hung up on the exact point it crosses. And oh no, it moved below here, so it's gonna go down. But oh no, it moved up here. I gotta get out. You gotta just squint your eyes, shake your head. It's just a general movement. See how everything's just kind of flow. Like, there's up and down, but whatever. Fucking ignore it. Just look at the main slow moving line if you have to. And these down here, don't worry about. Everyone's like, oh, this one closed above the whatever the fuck that thing is called, zero line, whatever bullshit. No, just squint your eyes, look at the big blob of red, big blob of green. That's going to be your brrr. That's going to be your brrr. It's all just general blobby movements. The worse your eyesight, the better you're going to be at trading. Get further back from the screen if you have to. Just go ahead and zoom out as far as you can. Just trade this shit. Just general movements from across the room. And you'll be much better off than if you were analyzing every candle. Okay, we got ourselves a cross down here. Oh god, but this is showing me a doji bullshit. 69 wizards. Alright, so those are my three main setups. And then you gotta understand that 6 months out of the year, markets move in nice little waves. But then the other 6 months, and it fucks people up, is the waves become nonsensical. So you'll be here like, alright, here comes the down bear, and then it just kind of drifts, and everyone's like trying to predict the top and just getting stopped out 1,000 times. It's just nonsensical drifting, like the captain is asleep at the wheel, and we're just, oh god, what's happening? That's usually the only time I lose money, is when I go to the next part, and it doesn't do the next part, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, now we're still waiting for it. It takes me like once or twice before I realize that we've transitioned into a nonsensical drift. It's the importance of not having market bias. As soon as you start saying, oh, it's gotta turn here, it's gonna go down, it has to, it's overdue, all that shit, that's when you start, instead of just seeing that it's on an escalator, you're in denial, like, oh, I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna sell, god damn it! And then right when you give up all hope is when it actually does the thing. Just react to the market, don't have any biases. I do use trend lines, but on the true high and true low, not on the random outlier candles. Too many times you'll see like an earnings report, some bullshit movements like this, but then it immediately returns to where it was and starts doing that again. And people are trying to draw like trend lines from the outlier. Just imagine that didn't happen. This is still the correct move here. It's like, don't pay attention, like follow the actual flow of the chart, not be like, well, I have to draw it here. Like, no, this doesn't count. That was an anomaly. I use trailing stops immediately. So if I enter here, I'll start down near the previous low, but as soon as it starts moving again, I'll use a moving average. So unless it, like I said, unless it immediately turns against me, I'm rarely going to get hit for the full stop. I'm going to have a discounted stop loss as if any candles form, I'm immediately getting closer and closer. And then generally I'll get out, like it'll probably stop me out here, which is still better than panicking and taking profit. Another problem I have is like, say I get in here and I see the big spike and I follow my trailing stop loss and I get out like below where I got in when there was room to do something. I need to get used to taking a small amount of profit after the first big move and then moving to break even, and then just getting used to getting break even a lot. Like, that's fine. I didn't lose any money. A couple of days were lost and I took a little bit of profit if I can do it, but I can't just see this and be like, oh, it's okay. Like, once the first move happens, I need to move up. I should be able to take enough trades, because I don't do break even. I always put mine like 0.2%, like any tiny bit of profit. It'll add up over time if you're taking hundreds of trades. Another thing I have to work on is I have to stop panic profit taking. Get out of here. Here's an example. So I don't have, let's see, if this was like this, then I was probably in somewhere around here. And I was in it, I saw this huge ass fucking 6-7% candle move. And I was like, well, there's no point in sitting in it as it slowly reverts back down. So I took profit at 6-7%, patted myself on the back. But then my trailing stop loss did this like all the way up to here before finally getting stopped out. So if I just listened to my system and stayed with my trailing stop, like take a few shares, take 10-20% if you care. But basically I made 7%. Where was I? Yeah, here. I made 6 or 7% when I would have made 28%. Like, and then there's no reason. Just I like seeing green numbers and I want to keep those green numbers, so I just get out for no reason. And besides the 3 setups spread out across the 2 6-month types of trading, and when those aren't working out, the other things I'm looking to do is trade short squeezes, you know, the ones that are on websites, but that's not working out so well. The few times they have spiked up, they've shown no reason to get in, so it would just be a random prey. But if it shows an actual signal, like, is it Beyond? Yeah, it's starting to turn around here for Beyond Meat, and it's highly short squeezed, high amount of short interest. So if I can get it to go up, I'm still waiting for some of this volume to switch, but that hasn't worked yet. And the other one I'm looking at is, this seems to work. Whenever there's a huge move against earnings, it always seems to be like, whoops, made a mistake, and it comes back to where it should be. Like, every time I've ever seen these huge moves in the opposite direction of earnings, there's this like embarrassed, no one look, no one look, no one look, no one look. So I'll look into that too. I'll wait for the next opportunity, but that always seems to work. Yeah, see? Same thing. Earnings were up, and it said, boom! And then when no one was looking and it was out of the news, I was like, all right, guys, sorry. That was our bad. It returned to where it should be. And this is, again, like the true high, true low. Where's my... Like, pay no attention to this. Just this is the chart. Don't go way down here. Don't even look at this. The chart is basically this. That's what... Don't be drawing your lines from way down here. These are still your tops. This will actually be my first time trading in January. Every time I look at the summer's charts and say, wow, that would have been easy. So I start trading again in like October, November. It works for about a month, and then December destroys me. And then I give up for 7 or 8 months. This time I did all right. I took a huge hit. I got stuck here like most people, where I was like, all right, it's about to top out and turn around here, and then it fucking gapped up and just ran. And then I kept trying to be like, well, Jesus, it's off the charts, it has to turn around here, right? And I kept trying to call tops and get stopped out. Here we go. Now we're... Oh, it's stopped out. So I took a huge hit from not recognizing the transition. And also, I think gas punched me in the nuts. Where were we? November? December? Yeah. It was like here. Where I had my... these gaps are sus. And I'm too old to use that word. But they seem to always skip pre-market over where most people's stop losses would be. That's about the only time they move pre-market. So look, it's over here, starting to turn around to the upside. Everyone starts saying, all right, I'm going to put my stop losses in over here. And then they wake up the next morning and then that has happened. Like you got to span, not only does it hop over your stop loss, it runs quickly. So after that all punched me in the nuts and I lost like my entire month's worth of earnings. I was actually able to win back all of it and then a little bit more, which isn't like people remind you. It's not you lose 50%, you gain 50%. It's you lose 50% and you have to gain 100%. So I gained twice as much to get back to even. Plus I chickened out and lowered my stop losses from $5 to like $2. So I was betting half as much and I made twice as much profit to get back to where I was. And I figured out a lot of mistakes. So it's looking good. I haven't bought in yet because the first week of January, like I expected, is just pure chaos. It's not going to follow the pattern from last year because a lot happens in between here and here. A lot of adjustments, a lot of hedge fund companies are messing around. People are changing numbers. It's kind of like a hard reset on the system. So let it start like I did and then let it form its own patterns. And here's a couple I'm looking at. They're not the best setups, but they're the only ones so far that I'm seeing. 4-star. I don't like how, like it's not a hook. I like to trade the hooks, like right here. This is more of a already hooking in the other direction kind of pattern. Like the wicks are forming on the top. I'm a little hesitant. This one looks a lot better. This is the hook I'm talking about. Owens and Minor, whatever the hell that is. And it's even a red candle, so I might get in before the market closes. But yeah, it's MACD. This is basically one of the things I look for when I scan, because it won't let you actually scan for anything helpful with your indicators that you actually use. So you have to do generic searches. So MACD is a good place to start. But so a lot of my trades start with the crossover of the MACD. But yeah, this looks real good. At least it's kind of a huge dip, so it's probably not going to end up doing that, but it's still got room to go up before it turns back around. So I'll be looking for like until it gets into this area. Voya was nice, but it moved too fucking much. Like I might, if it drops down to here, I might get in, but I tend to avoid huge candles. I mean, the MAC is still just now crossing, so I don't know. I'll wait. If it's like right here, I'll get in. Put my stop loss here. Same thing, not really super exciting because it's not a hook. It's an already hooking back down pattern. So I'm not too eager to pull the trigger. Blackstone Mortgage, not even close to MAC crossing, but showing signs of life. A lot of the airplane companies had a good day, had these huge green candles. And like I think it's... Yeah, Jets is the ETF for airplane companies. Pretty much a mirror image. They all look like this. They have their big ass green candle today. So whether you look up Delta Airlines or what is it, AAL? Yeah, American Airlines. They all had this exact same move. That's the other thing I have to work on is buying into many individual stocks that are all tied together, instead of just buying the ETF of all of them. It's like you're not diversified if you have 10 of the exact same thing. And this one, also not there yet. I'll enter stuff next week. Hopefully I'll make these once a week, and I'll update the actual numbers and say what I'm interested in. These are hard to make because my dad lives with me, because he's all blind and crippled now, and I don't want to be shouting upstairs, "What's that? I'm just making a YouTube video!" But He fell and broke his hip, so now he's in the hospital. So I can shout as loud as I want! I'm a 40-year-old man who has to talk softly in his own house. Alright, see how this goes. This could be day one of a legendary journey where I quit my job and trade full-time. Or it could be day one of me losing all of my money. Alright, see you next week.